Oh, hi, and welcome back to Just Some Beach. This is Shella, and today we are covering Escape the Night Episode 3, Buried Alive. I wonder what is going to happen. So, the episode starts out with another lovely recap by our host, Joey Graceffa, and we get another amazing flashback scene, stated months before the guests arrive. And we are shown a horrific, how do I say this? An intense scene that you would probably see out of American Horror Story, like, all the time. Like, just think of that, and, like, that's what we're seeing on screen between two people. It's a lot. I'm like, what? Why are we doing this? Why are we showing this? What is the point? And so they do the deed, and then it's a man and a woman. The girl sits down, and the guy's taking a cigarette smoke, and then we see him pour something on a cloth, and then he comes over and chloroforms the woman, and then he carries her off to the woods and throws her body on the ground, and she wakes up, and I guess the chloroform wasn't that good. So he carries her off into the woods and throws her body on the ground, and she becomes conscious again and tries to run away, but they grab her and they throw her into a coffin and bury her alive as you hear her screaming. And then as it's happening, Birdman! Dr. Birdman comes in, our favorite character. Birdman comes in, and he has an artifact, and he does a little ritual with a box, and the ritual gets, like, sucked underground, like, by a magical thing as they bury this woman. And, like, I guess, again, it's like, oh, it's a sacrifice? They keep being sacrificed for these artifacts. Again, that's what they call them. They're just artifacts by a bird doctor guy. And then we are greeted with the amazing intros again, beautifully done. I do actually like how they're drawn. That's not a joke. Like, I like the design and style of the intro. Anyway, we cut back to everyone back in the main area, and they're still all arguing about why Justine killed the Fixer on purpose, and who in the house, or who among them is the person working in cahoots with the evil dark force that's haunting this house. So they keep just pointing fingers and explaining, but mostly people keep pointing out like that it's Joey's house. So wouldn't Joey be the person who is in cahoots with the evil amongst the house? They're like, they just keep pointing fingers at other people and talking about like, well, it could be her, well, it could be you, well, it could blah blah blah. Anyway, they get another note, and the note reads, of course, that they have to perform something in order to get something. Have to perform a few tasks to be able to do something. So they get a note, and it says they have to perform a seance in order to receive a clue to get the artifact. So in this letter, they're told they have to perform a seance, and then they have to rip up this instructions that they got right away and throw it in this bowl in order to do the seance, part of the seance. And there's a picture with the note that they get, and they have to study the picture and see that they need her gemstones, or her birthstone. And so they guess that it must be like emeralds, since she's wearing emerald earrings. And then they have to get a lock of hair from her, along with finding her scarf. And they're like, okay, well, where should we go? It could be anywhere. And of course the butler is like, I think you guys should go upstairs to the second floor, because, you know, that's where all of our stuff is planned, so you guys should go upstairs. So they all head upstairs, and once again are all separated off into groups to go look into different rooms to try to find clues and find where all of her hidden objects are. Closelle, Lele, and Timothy are in the widow's room, as they call it, and are looking through all of her stuff to try to find the earrings. Sierra, who plays the heiress, her and Timothy and Ava go off to go try to find the lock of hair. And then Joey, Justine, and Oli go off to find the red scarf of the widow. And once again, they're just looking around and find little clues and things that, like, find where these objects are hidden. Once they bring all these objects down, they find another note that gives them more details about the seance and how to perform it. So they're like, okay, they're given a note to show them, like, how to conduct the seance and how to, like, make the circle and all that stuff. And everyone's like, no, like, I don't deal with this stuff. I don't, I don't talk to ghosts. And I'm like, I don't think the ghosts really want to talk to you guys either. You're not really doing anything ghostly. You're just solving puzzles. Like, anyway, so they're all freaking out about who has to do the seance, but Maid Sarah comes charging in and just sits right in the middle and is like, I will do it. I'm doing it. And they're like, oh, okay. So then they just try to set everything up around her and they keep messing it up. They're not getting it right. And then they're like, okay, someone, like, say the whatever incantation and let's get this started. So they start doing it, and then you hear this voice, and Maid Sarah gets possessed. And again, acting amazing. Beyond, like, it's so scary. I was so, like, spooked and the chills. And she is possessed by the woman who was buried alive. Yes, I know, shocking. And she dramatically tells them where she is and that she's outside in the back and they have to go and dig her up quickly and find her. But don't worry, it's not like, oh, just go under this oak tree and that's where I'm at. You know that they're given a bunch of different clues and where to go look and how to go find it, and that, it's probably gonna be that they're gonna have to split off because there's a bunch of tasks they have to do in order to figure out where her gravesite is, instead of just this actual ghost telling them where her gravesite is. So anyway, the ghost leaves and Maid Sarah is, unrepossessed, and she's like, oh, what? But doesn't really act different. She's like, huh, that was weird. And so then everyone heads outside, and of course they're like, okay, let's break off into teams. And I'm like, so they break off into teams again. Like, didn't we just do this upstairs? Now we're outside. So they break off into groups, and they're all talking again about, like, ooh, who could be the evil mastermind? Who could be this evil person doing all of these things? And once again, they keep throwing out I Justine because of how she acted last night. But again, it's not last night. It's just this is all one night. So they're all like, oh, well, I Justine is acting crazy. Anyways, they cut back to Joey's group and they find a note. Oh my gosh, more paper! Just more paper that they're finding! So this note tells them, okay, walk this way now. Okay, now walk this and do this. Okay, now unwind this thread and then you'll find it. And then the other group, they go and they find a piano, and with the piano there's a music box, and they're like, they don't really know what to do with it. They're really confused about it for a long time until they figure out, like, oh, we have to do this. We have to play what the music box is playing. So they do that and they get the key, and Joey and their team find whatever weird thing they're supposed to find, and they find the gravesite, and they all go over to the gravesite together. And again, they're still talking about who could be the evil person, and this is so creepy and weird, and I Justine hates coffins. I wonder if that's going to be relevant. So they're digging up this coffin and they pull it out, and they're all freaking out because they're digging up a dead body and hoping to find that dead body in the coffin. But when they open up the coffin, the body is not there. Bum bum bum. They're like, what? Why is there not a dead body? I mean, personally, I would be happy. I'd be like, oh, thank God, because I would not want to see any kind of decomposing body in any state. Like, no, thank you. So anyway, they open the coffin and there is no body, but you know what there is? A note! Yes, a note. They have another piece of paper and a note telling them what to do next. And this note says that it's supposedly from the possessed girl. Or, not the possessed girl. It's supposedly from the ghost of the woman who died. And so I guess she wrote this note? I don't know why, whatever. So, the note says that they have to sacrifice one of them, and they have to be buried alive in this coffin by all of them. And everyone starts freaking out, and right away, I Justine is like, I cannot be buried alive. I cannot go in that coffin, though. No, you guys seriously don't understand. Like, it can't be me. And, like, she's making, like, it all about her, and just so everyone's like, oh no, it's definitely gonna be you. Like, we're choosing you. And Joey is putting on, again, great acting. He's like, no, we have to save her. We can't do this. It won't be her. I'll vote for someone else. But no, I won't let that happen to you. I'll save you. Like, okay, Joey. Like, we all know what's happening, and you also know what's happening. So anyway, so then the butler's like, okay, you guys know the drill by now. It's voting time. And they all write names on paper, and they all all write their names down. They all write who they're voting for down on paper and give it to the butler, who then puts it in a hat and then picks out a name. And I guess, just by sheer luck, it's iJustine. Of course it's iJustine. Like, why wouldn't it be her? So she's like, no, and tries to make a run for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that's the only thing I would do. But I was like, iJustine, again, the acting, she's like crying. She's like, this is her moment. And she knows this is her moment. So she's taking it. I want to cringe, and I am cringing. But, like, also, like, get it, girl. This is your moment. You know it's your moment. So shine. Anyway, they're like, okay, yep, it's you. iJustine, sorry. And she's like, no, and goes running off. Like, she tries to run, and I'm like, good for you, at least you tried running away. And out of nowhere, the groundskeeper freaking snatches her up. Just whoosh, like, alright, whoa. And then Timothy quickly is right behind there to, like, grab her legs and help carry her. But I was like, excuse me, sir. Like, we've just seen him the first episode. Like, I guess they shot him really quick in the first episode, but, like, he's only getting real camera time in this episode. So just seeing him pop out of nowhere and just take down iJustine, I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Anyway, so they drag her back and throw her in the coffin, shut it, lock it, and bury her, quote unquote, alive. The whole time they're doing this, it is long and drug out and kind of uncomfortable to watch. Like, I'm just like, okay, we don't need to hear all this, like, her screaming and pleading for her life and everyone acting like, oh, this is sad, but, like, we have to do it. Like, Joey's like, no, I will not be a part of this. I will not participate. And they're like, come on, just throw some dirt. You have to throw some dirt. And then he goes, fine, and kicks the dirt on her coffin. And it's just the theatrics. So they bury her alive, I guess, and then suddenly out of the ground comes the artifact, and they get the artifact, and they're like, well, I guess, I'm not happy about it, but we got what we needed, and someone had to die. So they go inside and they put the artifact by the other artifact because they look exactly the same, and they're all still, they're upset, but they're like, someone had to die, and we knew this was gonna happen. Except Shane Dawson said in the very first episode that it would be two people that would always be like competing against each other, but that didn't happen. This one was literally just people like, let's all just vote someone out and to kill them, and that's it. So there wasn't a competition or like anything for her. She was just like, I guess they're just taking out iJustine because they've had enough of her, or maybe she was becoming too much of the main character, so I had to get rid of her. And again, Joey's all sad and like, I can't believe my friends just did this. And it's like, sir, you just did this. You are a part of all of this. Like, what are you talking about? And again, they reiterate that they're like, dude, someone has to die, like, every time. That's what Shane Dawson said. So why are you acting all shook and surprised that it was iJustine this time? So they're all back in the house and they're like, so what are we gonna do? And then Ava just pulls out a black box and says, we're gonna do this, and dramatically pulls that black box out and holds it and shows it, and they cut. And that's the end of episode 3. I don't know what the box is. They got it when they got the artifact. It came with the box. And again, I'm like, I'm sure that box is going to have some note inside of it. And then that note will tell them what to do next and how to go about it. Because that's how every one of these episodes keeps going and keeps turning out to. Like, it's not a fun watch. It's this is episode 3. And it's already so formulaic of like, okay, we get a clue. Okay, branch off into different groups, find more clues, find more puzzles. Okay, regroup. Okay, now do that again in a different setting. Okay, like last time, someone has to go battle each other, but this time, no, just vote for someone to die. Okay, and again, why? Why do they have to die? Why is a ghost girl like, yeah, I'm already dead, and that's how they have it, but now one of you guys have to sacrifice yourselves in order to get it back? Why? And again, it's like, so you're just killing people to get these artifacts back because the house is haunted, that you have to, otherwise you won't ever escape. But it's like, okay, but everyone is dying, and if theoretically, like, we don't know how long this is supposed to be, we don't know how long they have to escape the night, and like how many people that have to be killed off in order to get all the artifacts. So again, especially when it's like, well, you have to do it every night, so it's like, okay, again, there's this game element to it and a competitiveness element to it, but without actually being any of those, because like what just happened, iJustine didn't get to battle for herself or try to save herself. Like last time, the people who were up for being eliminated did not get to actually participate in their illumination. They just had to stand by and hope for the best. So I don't really know what else is in store and what other things besides like just this same formula happening over and over and over again. Like I said, we're on episode 3. There seems to be 10 episodes in the season, so yeah, I can imagine myself getting really tired out by all this because it's so far, again, it's a lot, but again, it is only episode 3, so hopefully it picks up more. Hopefully there's more things at stake. Hopefully there's better cutscenes. I am not a fan of these opening scenes of like the weirdness with the bird doctor man, like Dr. Birdman. Sorry, I don't like any of these weird opening scenes. Like, what, you can cut these. You don't need this. This would save a huge part of your budget too if you just cut all of these things, because they are really unnecessary and like don't do anything. They don't add that whole scene before that, like with that woman who then is buried alive. You didn't need that. You did not need that at all. Like, anyway, this has been Shella. I'm just a little shell on just some beach, talking about whatever washes up on the shore. See ya!